Yeah. Yeah. I know they mad for no reason. I'm holding on to change my life. Gotta move fast for a reason. I'm holding on to change my life. Huddling, I'm staring at charts until I retire. Yeah. Huddling, I'm staring at charts until I retire. Oh, 700K, I'm selling a Bitcoin. Haters mad, but they listen to this one. More profit coming to my direction. Yeah, you know me, I don't need a mention. I got the remedy, ooh, yeah. They don't just follow me, ooh, yeah. You say allegedly, ooh, yeah. You would subscribe to me, ooh, yeah. Staring at chart, drawing a line. Make a decision, you out of time. Huddling, I'm staring at charts until I retire. Yeah. Huddling, I'm staring at charts until I retire. Yeah. See on stage. On-chain revolution. Guns. Boom.
Welcome back to On-Chain Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire crypto ecosystem. What's up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. Today, we're going to be taking a deep dive in what is happening over on MONAD. Me and Yagobi have been playing all morning, and it's just a casino. It's another casino, right? So we're on something called NAD.fun. And, you know, we got our MONAD. We're going to be talking about, you know, everything about you, kind of get you guys caught up if you guys haven't been over there playing yet. Very chill show. I mean, Bitcoin's price action, you know, we're sitting at just under 87. Oh, just went over 87. So that's good. You do have Ethereum sitting around 2.8 K. And then, but the biggest factor for me is the DXY is just, you know, sitting over 100. Bitcoin dominance sitting just over 59. So I'm kind of just sitting here and, you know, not really taking this price action as too much as an indicator, because what is really happening, I mean, this is, you know, Thanksgiving week, right? A lot of the US are pretty much on vacation. It's very similar to how, you know, August was, when you're just not seeing a lot of participants in the market right now. I do think, you know, December is going to be a big month, mainly because of December 2nd. So as of December 2nd, the United States will be stopping quantitative tightening, meaning they'll stop selling bonds into the market, basically stop taking liquidity out of the markets. That is not quantitative easing, though. That is not when the Fed goes into the markets and buys bonds. So that's something that we have to keep in mind. That is not happening yet. Can it happen? Yeah, sure. It can happen January, February, March. Who knows, right? I do know when, you know, the new Fed chairman takes over in May, they'll definitely be having, if it's not already there. So, and that's kind of what Trump wants. Trump's kind of, it does feel like Trump's getting ready to pick his successor. They are saying by Christmas he'll have Jerome Powell's successor. But remember, Jerome Powell doesn't leave fully, right? He goes and he has a board seat with a vote. So it's not like, you know, we're going to get completely rid of Jerome Powell, but we will have a new chairman who makes the final decision. But, you know, he does take it off the votes and stuff like that. So we don't know if we're going to have a huge change, but I do think the run up to that point is going to be a big deal, in the sense of, you know, buy the rumor, sell the news. I think buying the rumor of that is kind of where I think most of the market's going to run, in that area of, okay, we're a month away from a new successor to Jerome Powell. We're a month away from quantitative easing. I think that is kind of when we're going to run. Markets are forward looking, which means, you know, they don't price in what happened yesterday. They don't price in what happened today. They're always pricing against what they think is going to happen tomorrow and next month and even next year for some instances, right? So we just need the market to forward look to a bull run, and then we'll be getting into one. It's kind of like, you know, your thought process. Think it and it comes. So I think that's what kind of we're all waiting for here. We're all waiting for December. We're all waiting for January. Arthur Hayes came out today and he said that there is liquidity entering the market. It's slow, but he does say that, you know, he thinks the end of December is going to be a good time to start DCAing. I don't know. I hope it's before that, but who really knows? But we have a lot to cover in the show. So without further ado, we bring up my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up, man? Before we get into the MONAD stuff, how are you feeling with the market, the price action we've seen yesterday and continuing today?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday I felt like was a good rebound day for Bitcoin, right? We saw some strength again. We got to almost 88K, right? With a pullback, which to be honest wasn't that bad. We're sitting here almost at 87. So, I think this week is very important. Obviously, in the U.S., it is a holiday week, so I wonder what the energy is going to be like in regards to that. And then we're kind of kicking the week off with a launch. Coinbase's first ICO launch, right? And then
Mhm.
they go mainnet, and people are messing with the DeFi and stuff like that. So, a lot of interesting things today that are going on, and it's leading into, like I said, a holiday this Thursday, and then early next week we have another kind of relaunch of a new ecosystem. So, I think there could be some excitement back in the trenches, the DeFi space, even though the markets haven't been that favorable.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I mean, right now it just seems like I mean, it just seems like when you're checking the news, right? You're looking at stuff and it's like everything's negative. Cardano fork to this that. There's no positive like anything really. There's no positive news. There's no positive on the timeline and stuff that you have to go to like TikTok to see people bullish. Like it's crazy. It's like X crypto X is just like terrible right now. It's just it's like a cesspool of rabies. Like it's just like everyone's just foaming at the mouth for a win, right? It's just like it's crazy. It's crazy right now. But you have to look at different ecosystems to find a movement. You have to look at different ecosystems to find different areas, because if we're all just looking in the same area and it's just everything's dead, we're not going to find anything, right? You actually have to go to other places. Today we're going to be checking out Monad and everything, and then next week we're going to be checking out Spark, right? So why do you think newer ecosystems have that lure right now? Is it just because everything is just so beaten down?
Yeah, I do think that, people are looking for some sort of something different, right? And you do have like the meme kind of Solana area that just was beaten down so bad. And
Yeah.
so, whenever you do have a new ecosystem, you do try to go into something that's like one of the first runners, because you
Yeah.
feel like at least people will hold on to some of these first ones, right? Because it's kind of like the Trillion situation and XPL, right? And so with Solana, there's already been some established coins, and right now that's kind of not the energy right now is to get into a new coin and then hold it. But over here, since everything is fresh, that mentality is a little different, right? So we'll see if we'll have some sustained winners, because with XPL, obviously Trillions I think it got to 60 million, and pulled back to where it is today, I think around 4 million. So unless the overall market really kicks up, I think Monad's probably hot for a week and a half or something like that, and then probably unless, like I said, unless the market really kicks up, it won't really sustain, I don't think, right? But if we do go into a Santa rally, it could be something crazy. That goes for Spark and Flashnet as well, because that's relaunching next week.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it does feel like you could see some real winners in the early days, because that's what we saw with Abstract, right? And Abstract, when we first got over there day one, we were there, for the first 5 coins that launched, right? And it was, you did find some winners, but the ones that ran up aren't the winners we see today. But if you would have stuck some money in there and kept them for a few months, you would have made out like a bandit. I mean, we saw 150 X's. So I'm kind of looking at some of these tokens and kind of saying, okay, there is potentially 150x here. You just got to find it, right? And you got to hold it long enough. It's not going to be overnight. You're going to see a huge upward momentum, huge downward momentum for a few days before things start to really break up and say, okay, this is the chosen one, right? So, but who really, really knows? I have no idea. But let's just kind of jump into our first topic of the day, which is the main topic of the day. How did I not have that in here? But MONAD mainnet just went live. Could this breakthrough save the bull market time? So let me just get this banner up so I'm just not lagging here. All right. Before we do that, we did have some comments. Andrew Hopkins, my guy, appreciate you, my friend. He said biggest L1 flu and the flop. He says biggest L1 flop. And Johnson Crago says, did you get into MONAD? Yes, we got into MONAD this morning. And Free Media says, is DJT signing a crypto bill today? And there's no rumors of a crypto bill getting signed today, so no. From my understanding, I could be. Nope, no, there's nothing. I would have seen it for
Yeah.
sure.
I think he's
right.
referring to probably what Brian Armstrong's been talking about, and that's still at least, I think we're talking about mid-December, right? When that could get
3 weeks,
actually,
yeah, is what I'm
yeah.
hearing. Monad just went live. Let's kind of get into it. So the first thing to do, right, is there was a tweet that you sent me yesterday that really kind of got things kicked off for me anyway, and that is this one right here. And this morning it was funny too because Yagobi sent me this yesterday, and I was like,
I'm
"Yo,
like, how do I do all
popped in
this?
this morning?" I was like, "You sent me the tweet. I just followed your tweet." So this is it right here. Just ignore all the launch pads because these ain't right. Kuru.io is the DEX you want to go to. Chainlist.org. And then you type in Monad. You can that's how you connect your wallet. This is how you do it. And then the next thing you want to do if you want to get your some Monad is go over to damn it, where is that? I think it's what was that site to kind of get the Monad in the beginning that you did? It was like Monad XYZ.
No, it was app.monad.xyz. And this is the
So let me just
easiest
show you
way
guys
to
this. Yeah,
get
it's super easy. So you guys at least go up here, get Mon, right? So then connect your wallet, and then you get Mon now, and then it'll come up like what you have in your wallet here, and that you can just instantly buy it. To click it, and then continue, and do $10 or whatever it is. And this is how the easiest way to kind of get the Mon, because you will need Mon no matter if you bridge over or not. You're going to need it, right? So, but this is by far the easiest way. So I just got some Monad there, and it'll show up in that same wallet. And then you want to head over back to that tweet and then go to the monadbridge.com. And if you have as USDC, or it doesn't really matter what it is, you kind of just click there. Let's just say for instance, you have Solana, you have Sol, and you come down here and you just click USDC, and then you can bridge. This is how I bridged in, and this is how you guys can easily bridge in to Monad if you're interested there. And the next thing you want to do is after you have USDC, a little bit of mod, and you want to convert USD, you can come here, put in your USDC amount, and then do the the Monad, and that's how you get more Monad. And then on top of that, then you want to head over to something called nad.fun. And this is it right here. This is your pump fund. This is your launch pad. This morning I got into a Nago and I got obliterated. I am in NADS right now. How are you feeling about everything so far with the bridge, with the we got the gas, we got everything we need. How are you feeling so far about everything when it comes to Monad?
So I feel like it's just now getting kind of settled in. I remember when we were there day one when Abstract launched, right? And people get anxious, including we were, right? Because you want to get that first runner. You want to get that first token that really gets going. And a lot of times what you can do is you can actually buy a token that's not from like the most popular launch pad, or not the token that's the chosen one. You just get into one that's just launched with a regular smart contract, and that's what happened when I first got onto Abstract, and it ended up being a rug. So I told myself, I was like, I'm just gonna take my time here. It seems like Nomad, sorry, not Nomad, was it nad.fun seemed to be kind of like the selected winner of launchpads, because if you went to gmgn.ai, you could see that it was heavy with the nad.fun testnet tokens, right? And so, some of these other launch pads had started to launch, like DYOR, which was big for,
Trillions,
so people kind of were like, okay, well, if trillions came from this, then they're probably gonna, well, that's not always how it works, right? And so then just being a little bit patient until this got going, because this was a little bit later, nad.fun, and this is GMGN that he's looking at right now. And then whenever this got going, it started to kind of bond some of these tokens that had already been attempted on DYOR. So I said, yeah, they can vamp each other. Probably not the best situation. So I was just a little bit patient. I got into NADS, disclaimer, just to be clear. And it seemed like, Monad, NADS, it was unique to this launch pad. I didn't see it bond on the other ones, and we'll see how it goes, right? It could go to zero. Any of these could, highly risky,
they all probably will eventually.
That's the thing, is that, like, it almost doesn't matter what you get into until there is a kind of consensus, I guess, on crypto Twitter of who the winner is here. You're really just rolling dice, right? And so that's kind of how the morning went, right? And you're gonna probably see some other stuff come out here. The biggest thing to me is that you know, this is Coinbase's first ICO launch, so I think they really need it to be successful from a token standpoint. And you know, obviously they want people to be interested as well in the ecosystem and DeFi. But I do feel like it was hyped up a lot by crypto Twitter as well, and builders within, like Pancake Swap is involved here in terms of that you can swap from Monad there. Trader Joe as well. Uniswap is already integrated. So we'll see how much actual liquidity is going to be involved here, including the claims and airdrops and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, I got to make sure I'm on the right token. Mon USDG.
Maybe DC or yeah.
Price buy on Bybit. Okay. This doesn't, no, this is the 4 hour. This is not it. What, why am I not getting like the
maybe
normal
see if there's
token?
a USDC one that's more or a Coinbase one. There should be a just type in Monad and see what comes up if you just type in
That's
Monad.
probably a better way. Yeah, Monad.
Is there any Coinbase ones?
No. It's definitely Mon. TraderView doesn't do that type of stuff, so I don't know. It should say, oh, it's giving me like stock market shit.
Monad USDT.
Here it is.
You found it?
Yeah, I mean, it's still giving me the same. I guess it's
well, you can change the time frame.
I know, but it shouldn't be like 9 4-hour candles. It just launched this morning.
Oh yeah, that's
you know what I mean? Like it just, I don't know if this is it, but
I wonder. So what's the first date that it's showing that candle?
I mean, dude, this is
first candle
a month old at this point. A few months.
Yeah,
this can't be it. This can't be it. So
that's not it.
Oh, it's perps, but I don't think that matters. But yeah, maybe someone in the comments has it. Andrew Hopkins has already had a problem with the server router problems, and there's been a lot of turbulence. I've been in lives for 2.5 hours, but social media has crickets with retail yelling scam. Track on coin market cap. Okay, that's probably better. I'm super disappointed at the amount of hype that the team is holding. A huge allocation of lock supply and claiming they have 75 teams that hype launch, and there's been nothing. Yeah, I mean, you got to give it a few hours. I mean, it's only been live for 2.5 hours right now,
20 minutes.
So I think if you want to see huge upward momentum, you're not going to get it. You might get it from like meme coins, but you're not going to get it from
the token itself.
Yeah, good call. Whoever said go to the coin market cap, because that is probably the best place. But it is just giving me the same price, 2.4 cents here. It did start off pretty high, but you can't like judge it.
That's actually not that bad.
A couple hours of trading.
I mean, that's not that bad, but I'm also not seeing it at its peak there. Because it's not down only, at least, and we're gonna see if there's gonna be a bounce back here, right? Because yeah, sure, the meme coin side of things is fun and all that stuff, but this is also a really big leverage play, depending on if you think this is going to bounce, or if you just shorted it since the mainnet launch, right? Or actually you could have shorted it on Hyperliquid a couple days ago, 3 days ago, I think, right? So people were anticipating the ICO being done, people claiming and then selling. So it really depends on how you viewed it. If you shorted it, kind of like Barachain, a lot of people made out with Barachain when they shorted it at first, but there was eventually, I want to say after maybe like 12 hours, there was a sharp rebound. So you got to be careful, very, very careful whenever you're using leverage on a fresh launch like that, especially if you hit your anticipated plan. If you expected a sell-off from claims and all those things, and you hit that, I'd probably be happy with that, go get my lunch and just kind of, go on with my day. Instead of saying, okay, now I can catch the ride back up, then you're just being greedy. I think.
I agree 100%. Stan says, was Aerogem compromised? I did see something about that, but if it was very minimal. So I didn't even have that in the news today, but yeah, I saw that, but it wasn't anything to kind of worry about there. And then he says Monad needs Jake never sleeps. I mean, I don't think Jake wants to participate in Monad right now. It's just too crazy. But going back to the launch pad here, do you see any winners yet? Do you see anything that potentially could be compelling? I know you said you're in NADS. Is this something that you think might be the winner? I do like it. I mean, it has a Pepe, purple Pepe type feel.
Yeah, the purple Pepe, that's rough, right? Because like Pepe kind of derivatives and stuff don't necessarily do well, but the NADs, and then that's what I love. The ticker monads, nad.fun is the platform. So there's a lot that it flows with, right? Is it a winner? I don't want to say right now, but it's running it's running hard, but I don't want to say it's a winner, right? Because like we're just too early, and you never know in this game of basically the casino, right? But I think what you want to see is probably a clear cut above $1 million market cap. And if it bounces back underneath it, not staying underneath it very much, and then kind of having sustainability over $1 million, then you'll start to see, I mean, that thing right there, bro, it's just like popping up and down in the background while I'm talking to you. And I'm just kind of like, man, that's so that explains kind of like how meme coins are, though, right? And so we'll see if it can get over $1 million. If it can sustain over $1 million, then I think that's another good sign. But again, I mean, it could be anything. It could be any one of these that makes a comeback or something like that. Really, but it's looking strong.
Very strong here. Yeah, I don't could this be a winner though, man? Like it looks like I haven't seen this much value in anything.
I never.
I mean, I missed this, dude.
Well, so that's a little bit of there you go. So right when you said that, right, they're just like, we're gonna bring the rain down on you. No, but like that's okay. So this is a little bit of the benefit. None of this is financial advice. You guys know that. You guys are all adults here. But this is a little bit of the benefit of a new ecosystem. It's like, okay, which one is going to be kind of like this winner? Which one's going to kick off? And it's hard. It's not easy. See, even in this situation. Now, is it easier than like trying to pick a winner in Solana right now? Absolutely, in my opinion, because 100%. Now you're picking from a pool of, let's say, 5 runners, right? 5 tokens that have some sort of energy in a brand new ecosystem. So that's easier than trying to pick a winner in Solana right now whenever it's exhausted, fart coins down, these things, no one wants another, the 6-7 token to launch. You get what I'm saying? So that's where the difference is. But you still got to be careful. Got to be very, very careful.
Yeah, 100%. It definitely does look at that fighting power, dude. When you have a freaking samurai sword like that, that's crazy. But you are seeing it getting hammered now, so let's leave this before it goes to 0. And we're live on the screen. But Inago this morning is something that was very similar to NADS, and it got pretty wiped out once it got over $1 million. We'll see if NADS can either repeat that or continue that. So I'm not really sure. Mooch seems to be something that has some power here in Chog. I saw this at 40K, and even this one, Landwolf. These seem to be very interesting. I think we're starting to get our early tokens, our early winners. I think it's going to be probably something on here. I don't know about all of them, but I think it's going to be something on here. Do you kind of agree with that? I don't think these two, but one of these 4 could potentially be like the mascot token.
Possibly, right? Yeah, they have a better chance than anything that pops up. But still, you never know in this meme game and cabals working together and all that stuff, right? That's where it gets tricky, right?
Yeah.
So, dominance is something to look for, like complete dominance. One of them just races off and gets way ahead, but. Kind of cool. The purple theme reminds me of Abstract whenever it first launched. Like the green was the theme over there, and you had the up token was the first one that bonded. It did extremely well for day 1. I think it got to like 5 million or something like that.
Yeah,
maybe, and then bounced back. But then it ended up not being the winner, right? So it doesn't really matter in terms of first is first. That's not really a thing too much outside of the Bitcoin ecosystem. Bitcoin ecosystem does definitely look at that a lot more. But yeah, other than that, look, I mean, I feel like they kind of had a little bit of a rough start, but it could have been just people anticipating in demand of just trying to find an opportunity, because there's been such few opportunities in the DeFi space, going back even really to this year. Honestly, you kicked it off with the Trump token and some of these big ones. And yes, there were opportunities on Solana, like, some of these, like the Annie token with the Bonk ecosystem. And then you had a couple in Pump, but it wasn't like 2024 or the very early parts of this year. I would say about three quarters of the year is really slim opportunities, unless you're one of those traders and you're in that KOL network. That's a totally different situation though.
100%. Yeah, for sure. And we got some comments. Those are what the other lives were trading. Lives. What lives?
So he's saying there's other lives that we're covering MONAD, right? He's saying that like those are the tokens that are popular with the other lives as well, right?
Gotcha.
Myself says I can't help but think of Gonad when I see MONAD. Yeah, I think that's probably most of us, and that's why I think NADS is funny because I mean, dude, it's like the ticker of NADS. It's just like that's like textbook there, man. We'll see if that strength can carry on.
Yeah, for sure here. But yeah, let's jump in. What's up?
I wanted to ask you, do you, I mean, with the market conditions like this, though, do you feel, by the way, as we're talking about MONAD, Bitcoin just shot up to 87,300. So, but do you think like the space needs something like this, you know, like a new launch with some excitement, or do you feel like it's kind of like a distraction, nothing burger?
I mean, we see new launches all the time, right? I mean, we had, you know, what was the last one? XPL, and then we had something else with that as well. And it's just like, what happens is they're just, you know, it just feels like they're just, it's like almost like a candle that just goes up. It's like, oh wow, and then it just like kind of fades back down. So, to answer your question, it is nice to have new stuff, but at the same time, if the old stuff isn't, no, let's say old stuff, but if Bitcoin isn't going up, then it's going to be down only, right? Because everything kind of right now is kind of fluctuating against Bitcoin. You are seeing Ethereum though up 2% against Bitcoin, which is nice. You are seeing the, you know, the so for me the only two charts that matter right now, and I know I say this every single time you guys like watch the show, but it's Bitcoin dominance, and it's Bitcoin dominance, which is, you know, 59%, and the DXY. And these two charts are both telling me like we're not in an area where altcoins can do well. We're just not. So until we can see, you know, DXY and the Bitcoin dominance kind of go, you know, we need them both to drop. We need both of these. So I'm mainly watching these two rather than anything else. And you guys know how I feel. If we don't drop below 96 on the DXY, then we're not going to get an alt season. So it doesn't really matter what's happening. Does that answer your question, or did I just go in like a?
No. It does answer my question. I mean, you know, the dominance it's weird. It's like it wants to go down. It seems like, right? It's in a downtrend, but it's not an aggressive downtrend, right? The Dixie is really, or the dollar is just not. You know, it needs to turn direction, right? It needs to start heading down, and so I think getting both of those together is obviously the key. And that's been the key in the past, at least, you know, all the time. It's kind of like an equation almost, right? It's like the liquidity type of equation situation, and, you know, going into QE as well. So there's different things that, you know, need to work together for us to get into risk on. I'm hoping that happens. You know, we got one part that looks like it wants to do that. The dollar just hasn't really shown us yet that it wants to.
I mean, and if this doesn't even happen, I mean, it looks like it'll take till April to kind of get to an alt season. I mean, even if it starts now, right? Like I just can't see a huge just dump of a candle. Like you don't see that when it comes to DXY, right? This is very rare. You know, and then potentially we need to see it again here without any upward trend. So seeing it happen in January would be insane, right? It just doesn't make any sense. It would have to happen over here in March. So like we might not actually see an alt season until Q2. How does that make you feel about?
I mean, at least we're getting one, you know, I guess. And maybe we get some, you know, a little bit of a Santa rally to end the year, right? So I think that I would be okay with that. At this point, it's like, you know, what else can we do, right? You know, especially if you're in this space, you work in this space, or you truly believe in it, and that means that you're still here, right? But I think I would be okay with it. I mean, you kind of have to, right? So, but I would at least want some sort of rally to finish the year, even if it's not anything super blow off the top type situation.
Yeah, and on top of that, we are going to need something like this as well. We're going to need a Bitcoin dominance to just fall off a cliff back down to like 47. This is the only way we kind of get an alt season as well. So for me, we need these two things to happen. We need the DXY to drop, and we need the Bitcoin dominance drop. Anything else is just kind of noise. It doesn't really matter. right? So when it comes to Monad, to kind of finish off your question there, when it comes to Monad being like, something it's really going to depend on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin can continue the surge, it looks like 80,000 was the low, or 79,000 was the low. If it ends up being the low, then Monad had the perfect, ever like the ultimate
Launch.
release day launch, yeah. And then we could kind of see the go up. So to answer your question, it really depends on what Bitcoin does.
Yeah, for sure. They could have timed it right, but again, I think that they have. We'll see what happens next week as well with the Spark, but this could be kind of a joint thing to where both of them could do well, like you said, if they timed it right. But Johnny Utah, what is up with you? We haven't seen
my
you in
God, it's been
forever, man. Yeah, welcome back to the chat. He says, what's so special about Monad from a tech perspective? My apologies if you already covered this, just hopped on the stream. Also GM. Well, GM, back to you, sir. We talked a little bit about this last week. Their claim to fame is that, hey, look, we are an EVM Solana in terms of execution, speed, and these types of things. And obviously the first coin-based ICO, so that is kind of special, right, in itself. But really the Solana aspect, and Solana seems to be embracing them quite a bit. The Solana main account has posted multiple times about Monad, changed their colors to completely purple. And they also added the Monad token to Radium, right? So you can start swapping for Monad. There's a lot of cross-chain compatibility that they're doing with Solana and Monad and the EVM stuff, because at the end of the day, Monad is EVM tech stack.
Yep, for sure. Do you think it's fast after using it, or do you think it's actually pretty fast? Or you think, because I'm not feeling the Sonic like how I was feeling
Speed.
Sonic was just insane. Like the second I pressed the button, you did send me a few Monad this morning.
Yeah, that was
I had
fast.
some gas, and you were like, "Yo," I was like, "I got it." You're like, "Dude, I just pressed the button."
No,
So
literally, I pressed it. I pressed it like I went like this. I got it. Like it was so crazy how fast that was. Now
okay.
I think there was some router issues though. Like
Gotcha.
if you use like GMGN to kind of buy a little bit quicker because they do have a wallet there. There was router issues, but I think that was more of configuration versus stack potential and capability.
Makes sense for sure. All right. Anything last thoughts on Monad? Anything last on today? So I'm gonna ask you 2 questions in one. What are your thoughts on what's happened so far, and what's your thoughts on what's going to happen next?
So what happened so far is we just, everybody's trying to get on Monad to get to the casino, right, and try to pick the first winners. And there was some congestion. The nad.fun site wasn't working really well, but I think that's starting to get smoothened out. And what I expect is something like Abstract, but possibly a bit more activity, just because of the parties behind it. Coinbase, Solana is encouraging usage of Monad. You got Pancake Swap, Trader Joe, different dexes as well. So that's what I'm expecting there.
Yeah, I agree. I feel the same way. I'm very pleased at how it's been so far. I did like the fact that we were able to get the MON token pretty easily. That's something that I struggled with the XPL. I couldn't find it right away, and I missed out on some opportunities. And then, now with, the Monad being launched, nad.fun took forever this morning, but now it does feel like it's up, it's running, and it's good. There is runners already. So I'm very happy. I'm actually optimistic about the rest of the day, about being able to find a runner today and kind of making some money over here. I don't think this is going to be something I'm doing by Friday, but I think at least for the next 2 days, there's opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, and then I think they're going to try to push their apps as well. They have gambling apps, that
they really?
It's the same situation as Abstract, right? Like those kind of, I think maybe like poker or some sort of those, like, so the apps.monad.xyz is very similar to the Abstract home base. So there's an apps ecosystem and stuff that people can check out as well.
I didn't even know this. Say that again. Why didn't we talk about this? Apps?
We did. Monad.xyz. That's where you get
There's no apps on here.
Yeah, there is. If you go to app.monad.xyz, you go to.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah. Yep.
What is this?
Does it not? So if you go to,
why didn't you tell me about this?
Well, I thought you knew about it, but does it not remind you of? Does it not remind you of the Abstract situation? So you might want to share that.
All this stuff.
I don't
Yeah, let
think
me
you're
share the
sharing it.
screen.
But yeah.
Okay. Dude. Okay, this would have been great if I would have not been a dumbass and didn't see App Hub real big on the screen. Wow, okay, let's go. I'm down to be checking this guys out. Check this guys out, app.monad. Damn, I was just about to leave Monad too. And what is
.xyz.
this? What's Rare Bet Sports?
See, there you go. So it's prediction
Ooh.
parlays, player prediction
Ooh.
parlays. That sounds pretty awesome. I mean,
Interesting. I want to play
right?
bro.fun, bro. What's this
Sync
about? Like,
cups. Sync cups. So,
I'm down to play some sync up, bro.
yeah. Basically, it's like what
AI
was that?
powered
Beer
open
pong?
world game. Sign me up, dude. This is what's Monday? What's Monday trade? Leverage trading. Okay, that's like their hyperliquid.
I will
Irving,
say though,
dude.
from the outside perspective, they do seem like apps that are a little bit more polished than abstract. But
Yeah,
you know, not to beat abstract up too much. You know, they were the first to kind of do that. And so, like the RBS, for example, I think that would interest a lot more people with the
yeah,
player prediction parlays and stuff. And then you have the bro.fun, and then they already have like the leverage platform ready day one, because I think a lot of these new environments and chains and stuff realize that, hey, like from day one we should have a strong perps dex represented, because you look at hyperliquid, look at Aster, look at all these other things. We need our community and our ecosystem to have a place to go to do that. And we make a lot of money, or I mean, from
yeah.
the fees and all that stuff as well. So
I think I was trying to get away from Monad too quickly because I forgot. We should be looking at this too. This is, remember this, the Moland X. There was a coin. Well, they're doing a free mint here, and then you have Chewy's doing a mint. Is this something you're maybe interested in, or is this maybe just junk?
well,
Dude,
no,
these
I
are a
do think,
lot of launches.
yeah, I do think that the NFT part is going to do decent. I do feel like they have
One
that
day.
kind of vibe, right? So I do think there's going to be a couple collections, but we're not there to where you can do probably like a solid. You could probably do some solid flips with them, but not like what you, if you're in, from the NFT era
Yeah.
in 2021. Don't expect anything like that until that like hype and energy comes back for all of NFTs. But getting them early in stuff like that, Monad seems to have a lot of strong branding and marketing too. So I think some of the abstract ones are going to do very well too down the line. The Barachain, a couple of those, they're kind of known for trying to do NFTs as well. So it's just, what are you willing to kind of risk right now that you can't afford to kind of have on the side, right? And people that are buying ordinals for the future as well, if they have that mentality, same mentality, I think, as this.
Yeah. Because if you just go to something like abstract, right? Obviously they have all their NFTs and stuff, right? You see some $100 floor, right? If you're able to get them early, you've definitely made out money. One of my favorite is Bearish, but if you come over to Monad, right here, they don't have anything yet. So I should definitely be paying attention to this. I will later today, and kind of seeing what launches and potentially if there's any opportunities to kind of get a few just to hold long term. I got to look into see what people are excited for, but Monad Nomad seems to be really interesting. First community-driven NFT initiative. Go to Launchpad. I wonder if they're going to charge a bunch. They're charging $500 at one, and there's going to be 10,000 of these. The art, I hate this art, dude. I don't know what it is. Do you like this shit? That ruined it for me.
It's like 8-bit
Yeah.
art, like Nintendo style art. Yeah,
I don't know what
fan.
I was expecting, but look at Chewy. Let's see what Chewy. This actually looks kind of dope. Like, this is what I'm expecting from Monad, right? Like something like pretty wild. I like this.
Yeah. I mean, each artist is going to be different, right? Their style is going to be different. You can go from CryptoPunks to apes, and that's a drastic difference, right? You got 8-bit to detailed art, and that's kind of what you just showed there, right? So just kind of to each their own. Like, what do you kind of like, and is the community strong as well behind it? We've been really not paying too much attention to community and NFT communities because it's just not the time to like super hardcore focus on that, which, I mean, some people could argue against me and say, well, right now is the time to see what communities are forming strong for whenever the market does come back. And I'd say you're probably right. But for someone that's in the news every day and we have to report every single day, obviously, it's kind of like, what have you done for us lately? for the audience.
100%. All right. You want to dig into the Bitcoin price action?
Let's do it. Let's do it. But before we do that, guys, on the YouTube side, smash that like for us, subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications on, and all that great stuff. Same thing with X. Let's share the space. Let's get as many people in here as possible. Abstract as well. We're live streaming there. Pump Fun, all the places as well. Zora, all those great spots. Just to give you guys a heads up, Jeff had ran into something with Merlin Chain, so he's just taking care of nothing big, just business meetings and stuff like that. So he's not able to make today. So give you guys a heads up on that. But let's take a look at some price action here. Let's get into this right here. Looks like Bitcoin is making that kind of bounce back, right? Which is good. Obviously, last week was really tough, but one thing that I have mentioned several times on our show is not getting too trying to be emotionally stable right now, right? Whenever you had anticipated not you specifically, I'm talking about in general, I'm actually talking about myself, anticipated a strong Q4 and just really didn't get that to kick things off, and we're pretty deep in it. It for me is just kind of okay. Let's kind of readjust our glasses here. Let's kind of take it day by day, right? And that's where I'm at, and it's been a lot better, less stress, that's for sure. But taking a look here at Bitcoin's price action, rebounding from kind of a drawdown, as you saw second half of yesterday, early this morning, it looks like we are done, or want to be done, at least with the sell pressure on the hour chart, right? You can see that blue fast line kind of curling up here, wanting to touch the slow line there. And you can see on the MACD, it looks like it's wanting to switch over. We're not there yet. And as of late, we've had some crazy reversals from trying to come out of sell pressure, just to kind of prolong it, right? But the stochastics is showing us as well, like, hey, look, we're done being down here. We want to go up. So I am expecting this to have a continuation here. Maybe we see a knock at 88K. That would be nice. Maybe we get to 89K. I don't want to say 90 just yet, but who knows? This is Monday, so we are, starting it off the week pretty strong. This is also a holiday week for the US, right? The people in the West over here. So that's going to be interesting too, how the energy is, because I'm sure low volume types of situations, Wednesday, Thursday. But as for today, looking pretty strong here. Let's take a look at the support and resistance going back to early this morning. And we are sitting at 87,300. And this is data that pulls back to 6 a.m. Central Time, so 7 a.m. Eastern. So about almost 4 hours, right? About to close up this hour candle here soon. But you can see that the resistance did kick in here, because we had this really strong hour candle, but right now we're kind of just like walking through a little bit of mud. But the volume is very low, and you can see we're pushing up now, so that's good. That's really, really good. We're pushing up out of that. Now right below that is kind of where we were just now when I was talking about it. So resistance does outweigh the support right here at the 87,250. But if we can keep pushing up here, that's really great, right? Some large buy bids come in, maybe push us to 88, and this kind of readjust with time. So looking pretty good where we are. We're definitely pushing the envelope here to the upside. So I like where we are for today. Now that doesn't mean that everything's going to change this week. We're going to go back to 100K this week or anything like that. But we're starting the week off, at least for now, pretty strong. So that's the hour chart. I am expecting some sideways with a little bit of uptrend, nothing crazy, unless we do, like I said, always get like a headline or something that can push it either direction, by the way, with that. The 4 hour looks pretty good. It did look like it wanted to close up here, but it looks like it's kicking back up here. Let's see if we can push the 88K, maybe 89 on the hour chart, and that will kind of solidify this kind of redirection and staying open to the upside here, right? And then we'll get some more candles to kind of follow up with this. Now, it does look like it has been, kind of going for quite some time here. It goes all the way back to Saturday morning, like 2 a.m. in the morning. But if we kick back open, it can prolong this, depending on how aggressive it gets. But as of right now, does want to stay to the upside. That's a good sign as well. Let's take a look at the daily. The daily is something that has just been a thorn in our side here. Multiple times we wanted to get out of sell pressure with, this is kind of what I was referring to on the hour chart, just with the redirection and just reopening up the sell pressure on the MACD, right? So the momentum just hasn't been able to be reversed on the daily chart, right? Going back to the 3rd of this month. So about 21 days, right? 3 weeks, really, we've been in sell pressure. So, eventually we will come out of this, right? But I'm not going to, anticipate that until this blue line has fully crossed over that slow line, because I've just been faked out too many times, right? So that is where we are on the daily. So good position, but don't get too far ahead of ourselves is where my mindset is with Bitcoin on the daily chart. Now let's take a look at Ethereum, because it looks like maybe Ethereum is trying to front run a little bit, get a little bit ahead of Bitcoin here. All right, on the let's go back to the hour here. Reset that. Okay, so the hour chart, looking good. We have already started the buy pressure here, in the area of kind of going back to that 6 a.m. kind of time, data pulling from. It looks like support is definitely showing strength, right? Definitely a lot stronger than the resistance on the Ethereum side. Bitcoin was a little bit more balanced out. Sure, we did, get above it, but Ethereum looks pretty good here. Looks pretty strong on the hour chart. So, obviously Bitcoin is guiding Ethereum right now. It's gone back into that kind of partnership of, hey, where are we heading? But Ethereum seems like it wants to have a little bit of a front run on Bitcoin here. The 4-hour chart, looking pretty good too. Open back up, just like Bitcoin. So 4-hour chart looks really good, and same thesis on that as well, in terms of the hour chart. Today's hour chart kind of giving us a push up to extend that 4-hour chart that I just showed you. And then same thing with the daily too, right? Like we need to come out of this sell pressure finally and just actually start an uptrend on the daily chart, because it's been down only really, breaking out of the sideways going back to October 7th, really. I mean, if you pull, you can see that downtrend just kind of being created starting at that point. So we do need to, at least go sideways a bit and then change directions here, or, jump straight into a full-on reversal. I don't know how likely that's going to be, but, we need at least to break into a sideways trend here for Ethereum on the daily. But yeah, that's where we are with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's get into these crypto bubbles here.
Bubbles broken.
Bubbles broken.
But yeah, man. Yeah, that site's crashed. No,
What? Did it?
Broken. Yeah, it's done. It pulled a spark.
No
Yeah.
way. Really? That's crazy.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
Rain.
So
what is rain? What is
yeah,
this?
it's raining gains on everybody. It's up 107%, and it is ranked number 47. Jump up. It was in the top 100.
What chain is it on?
I'm gonna have to
click the CoinGecko real quick, and then you just go down. It'll say what chain it's on.
I wouldn't be shocked if it's BSC.
Really?
Because usually when I see something new and it's an EVM tech stack, it's almost always BSC. They have something that's like, an AI thing or something like that. But while it's loading up, Rain, congratulations to people that earn Rain. You have gained a 107% uptick here. Pump is up 6%. Interesting. Pepe is up 3.4%. Aster is up 1.6%. Shiba Inu is up 1.4%. Stacks up 0.9%. Tron up 0.6%. So, the stuff that has pulled back, some of the stuff is closer to the 4%, but, anywhere between 1.5% to 3% is what I'm seeing on average. Hyperliquid up, 2.7%. Zcash pulling back 2.4%. So, the privacy stuff seems to continue to kind of backslide here. You're seeing Zcash at 564. You had people like James Nguyen short Zcash pretty hardcore, right? I mean, look, he was getting wrecked pretty much this entire year, but I got to hand it to him the past month.
Yeah,
he has gotten it right. So that's interesting. But yeah, other than that, like I said, the stuff that has pulled back, it's been more of 3 to 5%, but you're looking at more of a 70% gain versus 30% pullback here on the top 100. So that is good to see.
Dude, you'll never guess what chain is on. Shocking. But I'll give you a hint. It's a predictions market, and it's running on the same types of predictions. No, I'm sorry.
Market? Polygon.
its hyper liquid fork on Arbitrum.
Oh, okay. Well, like I mentioned
Oh
earlier,
no, predictions market. I was right. You were right. I was
on
my
Arbitrum.
brain's like not functioning. Yeah, decentralized predictions market on Arbitrum. Yeah. Create markets. So yeah,
Wouldn't you say those are the
cold
two
rain.
things that like chains are like really having a prerogative on saying, hey, we need an established predictions market, we need established perp decks. Those are like the two
Yeah.
things that I feel like they're really hyper focused on right now.
Remember what Jake was saying that like every cycle it has like whatever happened towards the end of the cycle it kind of brings it back. And I think last cycle like DY it was the leverage
TYDX.
trading DYDX and gains. So I remember that was like at the end of the cycle, and now that's the hottest thing. But for predictions markets, this is like this is the first cycle that they've ever existed, right? I don't think Polymarket was around in 2021 or 2022. So for me, I'm just thinking like, yeah, you're right. I think every chain you need a DEX, you need a perp DEX, and you need a prediction market. Like that's the three things right now that every chain needs to have.
Yeah, and they realize that, and so it's almost kind of like, look, if we want to be competing, we got to have that, and that's for sure. You're seeing it with EVM tech stacks, Solana with the SVM side. I think for NAD's just crossed $1 million. By the way,
Oh, it's back up. It's back up again.
it's up. It's past 1 million. So seems
No, I
like
mean
it's
like the
taking.
site's working again.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking on GMGN, so like people
Okay.
know kind of what
Yeah,
the
the site's
contracts
back
are and
up.
stuff like that. So, but anyways, to go back to your point, some of these other tech stacks like Cardano and Stacks and some of these other ones, they know that probably that eventually that they're gonna have to do that. But it's almost kind of like the EVM tech stacks are doing it first. But yeah. So that is what we got for the top 200, the 100 through 200. Fartcoin is up. Oh my goodness, Fartcoin is up. It's at 26 cents. Man, remember it was $1.26 about 4 months ago.
Dude, I remember it was like $3 at one point, dude. That is insane.
Yeah,
insane.
man, that fart is stinking. But it is up 17.6% today. You see CBCN. Our guy Courtney Johnson is a billionaire now because of CBCN. I'm just kidding, but it is up here. By
He's the only one I know
9%.
who has ever participated.
But you got to give him some credit. It has performed pretty well though for most of the year. We've seen a lot of it in green a lot. So kudos to him. Eigenlayer up 3.8%. BAT is up 13.8%. B, which is a Binance meme coin, up 8.7%. XPL pulling back 9%. So pretty big pullback there. But yeah, that is Merlin right here up 2.5%, and that is going to be the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto bubbles. Courtney Johnson says peace.
He was here.
He got summoned. He got summoned.
Say his name and he appears. Shout out to Courtney Johnson, my guy. Appreciate you, my friend. You think he's gonna come up? I don't know, man. I don't know if he's gonna pop in.
He hasn't failed me yet.
Well, shout out to YouTube. We got 30 people over on YouTube. Appreciate you guys, man. Let's kind of get into today's banners, guys. The news today was absolutely awful, so bear with me on this. But Bitcoin mining is quietly resurging in China. Per Reuters, the country now accounts for 14% of the global hash rate. The United States is number one in hash rate, which I thought was weird. It's Texas, of all places, has like 30% of the hash power. But yeah, so Bitcoin mining in China is a big deal because they're not attacking it. They're not going after it, right? Do you think, having a presence in China for Bitcoin mining is a good, solid thing? I guess so, right?
Yeah, because they're one of the three world powers, right? So if they're, if they're supporting it and, the government controls how much energy costs, right? At the end of the day, they can't over there, right? And so for them, like they can make it profitable, and let's say it's too much in China, then their neighboring countries like Kazakhstan and all these other stand countries, the electricity is so cheap, so that they could easily partner with them, So I think it's a good thing that they're in it because of them being an economic world power. Now, they're kind of they are our competitor. So I think that's where, someone might say, well, their competition to the US. Well, then, do better with the mining industry then, I don't know what else to say with that.
Yeah, for sure. I think you definitely need China to get involved. I mean, to stay involved and not. It's just I'm just waiting for the headline. China, goes after
Bans
miners again,
mining.
bans mining. I mean, it's just every single time. We'll see. Grayscale Dogecoin Trust ETF GDOG actually goes live today, and GXRP will start trading on the Nasdaq today. So we got actually have a Dogecoin ETF. Isn't it insane how quiet it is that we're getting all these ETFs? We now have, for everyone that doesn't, we have a Bitcoin ETF, we have Ethereum, we have Litecoin, we have Hedera, we have Solana, we have Doge, and XRP. We have 7 crypto ETFs, spot ETFs, some with staking, some without, that are trading right now. And I feel like it's so quiet and ignored. It's insane.
Yeah, it is ignored because of October 10th, right?
Mm.
And was it intentional? Because now that these ETFs are out and traffic can buy them cheap because there's just no headlines really beating a drum about, hey, ETFs are here, type of situation. Was it planned? I don't know. I mean, I could just sit here all day in that rabbit hole, but at the end of the day, they're here while the market is not enjoying the fact that they're here. And that was one of our catalysts. That was one of our catalysts for Q4, right? Not our fault. Don't get mad at me. Like anybody with any logic would have said, okay, that should be a positive for the overall markets. It is what it is, right? We're just marching on and moving forward to finish this year, and we'll see what kind of effect it has for the space long term.
Yeah, 100%. Pump Fund has transferred 436 million in USDC to Kraken and Circle since mid-October. So the only people that are still making money are Pump.Fund. 436 million transferred to Kraken and Circle since mid-October. So when you transfer something to Circle, you're getting out. You're going to your bank account. At least when you go to Kraken, you can still have it there kind of sitting, but they're cashing out more. They're the space is so beaten down, but Pump Fund keeps extracting.
Yeah, I mean, it's
almost
that's
like
how business.
Pump Fund, dude. Like, you know what I mean? They're the only ones making money. I don't know. I guess you can't hate the player, hate the game, right? Because they're just playing the game.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, sometimes that's how business goes, right? It's like, I mean, okay, so successful businesses obviously have most of the time would have a good relationship with their consumers or have some sort of mutual benefit with their consumers. I feel like this is a little bit of an anomaly at this point. Now, there is something to be said, the market not being good. And when the market's not good, you're going to have a lot more extraction because the market's not good. There is the casino component of Pump Fund that has people constantly wanting to play for the possibility of hitting that grand slam. All right. So in their mind, they're like, okay, when the market is good, the consumers can benefit more, much, much more. When the market's bad, they're going to benefit very, very little. We're going to benefit much, much more than that. Right. And that's just kind of, I think, the easy, plain and simple black and white explanation of what you just said too. They're making tons of money still. Supposedly they're buying, a lot of their token, but it's still going down. The market's going down, but and it's not $1 million every day. That was kind of a bit of a rumor out there, but it is every time, I guess, that they feel like it. I don't know how often they're doing it, but they are buying back the token because it is on chain.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so on November 21st, the Cardano blockchain experienced a temporary chain split. Malformed delegation transaction was accepted by newer node versions but was rejected by older ones, causing different parts of the network to diverge. The incident exploited a bug dating back to 2022 in Cardano's node software that remained unpatched. So they knew about this, but they just never fixed it. And then a chain split undermines confidence in the network's reliability. Even if funds were safe, the fact that parts of the network disagreed on ledger history raises questions about the resilience or the reliance and upgrade practices. Operator Homer J, alias, admitted that responsibility for the malformed transaction, saying they were testing in production with AI assistance and caused the issue. So this guy was just a vibe coder. He has no experience coding, and he hacked the Cardano blockchain, splitting it. The bug exploited a hash error that allowed a delegation transaction with a large hash to pass validation. And rumor is he just kind of went on ChatGPT and said, if I wanted to hack Cardano blockchain, what would I do? And ChatGPT was like, well, there's a bug that was never fixed, and that happened in 2022. If you wanted, you could attack this. And he said, how? And ChatGPT
Oh
was
my
like, oh, this is what you
gosh.
do. And he just tried it, just seeing if it would work, and it worked. And he exploited the chain. So he got nothing out of it. He didn't get any money, nothing like that.
But he's going to get in big trouble, right?
No, I mean, what did he do?
But
He just put it in.
Charles Hawkinson and the foundation reached out to the FBI about him.
Yeah, so they want to get him investigated, but what did he actually do? Did he like, you know what I mean? He was just
He probably helped them to take care of the bug eventually.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he didn't have any, like, this could have been worse if North Korea like realized this was possible and had different ways of, you know, potentially even taking over the chain, right? Or, you know, who really knows? But Cardano chain is awful. If you're someone who invests in Cardano, you should really look at yourself in the mirror and say, I don't use the chain, because if you use the chain, you would know it's awful. It's a terrible experience. We've used it with Fluid, we use it with Tokyo, and it's just not function. It can't handle transactions. It can't. I mean, all the tokens are just like Bitcoin tokens. It's off chain indexing. It's a complete garbage situation. And if you do hold Cardano, you're holding it for one reason only, and that's because you think that it's going to get an ETF, and you know it's one of those tokens, one of those chains, legacy. It's garbage. Use the chain. Use it. It's garbage. And then you have stuff like MONAD today that's just like electric, right? When you're using it, it's this amazing experience. I don't know. I think Cardano. I think it's time for a lot of that money to flow out of Cardano into actually good projects.
Yeah. You know, I really used it. I have used it with you know, some of our past partners and stuff like that. It's obviously faster than Bitcoin, but everything is faster than Bitcoin, right? And so it's a UTXO chain, but it's also proof of stake. So there's just like it's like, okay, you're not proof of work, proof of stake. You're faster than Bitcoin, but then you still kind of get stuck with the UTXO model a little bit, where like you know, you have to have a certain amount of ADA in there, and you know. I haven't used it enough though to say, you know, I've stress tested it to where it's failed multiple times. And so
I'm pretty sure some of your transactions failed though.
Yeah, I mean, but
half of my transactions failed.
Half? Okay,
half.
That wasn't the experience I had. But there was one experience that was pretty weird, that like I remember like not seeing my balance in my wallet, but then knowing that I did the transaction, and I looked on Cardano Scan and saw it, and then I had to re-add my wallet on either another PC or just you know, reinstall it and for it to show. So I don't know if there's like a index or issue with that, but that is something that I did see.
Yeah, man.
I do think that they have a good builder community, you know, in a sense. You know, I mean, like their camaraderie with each other for the most part.
The three builders that are there, MinSwap, Fluid, and this other one.
No, MinSwap, Fluid, and you know, Tokyo, and multiple others as well. You know what I mean? We had the decentralized server project that had migrated to Cardano from Polygon, I think. Remember, we had them on for one of the Tokyo segments. Remember?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know who I'm talking about? But anyways, so, and a lot of times they actually bump heads with Charles. You know, because he seems like he's, you know, kind of doing his own thing and all these things. I do think that it's not necessarily like the smoothest situation over there. But I just need to.
I think it's a terrible situation. I think it's awful. I mean, I've spent time over there, you know, doing due diligence for our partners and stuff, and it's not a good situation. Like it's absolutely awful. The builder community doesn't even seem to be there. I mean, shout out to Raul from Fluid, but like he's mainly building on Bitcoin. When he goes on his little spaces every Friday, they're, you know, it's Bitcoin, it's alkanes, right? It's nothing to do with really Cardano building at all. I think they're trying to be those Bitcoin builders, and we've done this for a long time. But DimSwap is he's upset, or DimSwap. He said MONAD scam, 100 billion supply. Indonesia tech MONAD 32.4 trillion. Yeah, I'm not really sure what you're trying to tell us here, buddy. Please, better words. Maybe use ChatGPT. But yeah, I don't really know
Yeah, and you don't think Coinbase is going to do their due diligence?
for what. Oh, for Monad.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, I think he's saying like the Monad token is a scam, 100 billion supply. So I mean, I don't know. I would just imagine Coinbase for their first ICO is going to do like really deep, their due diligence on that.
yeah. Let me
So
actually check that out real quick because I don't know if that's true. It should say it on CoinGecko. So it's telling me that there's 100 billion and there's so 10% of the supply is out, right? Which basically means that you're probably locking them up for investors. I'm sure Coinbase has a bunch, you know what I mean? So I mean, this is very normal though, dude. Like this, I feel like everyone has had that pump fund mindset where it's like you need to have 1 billion tokens and they all need to be out. Like, you know what I mean? It's like it's not how real
that's not
projects work.
normal.
No.
That's not how it used to be. Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I mean? So, you do have it, it's $2.5 billion market cap, fully diluted, right? So it's $272 million market cap, just normal. So, and you will see more and more tokens come out. I'm not saying hold the Monad token. We're not saying that at all. What we're saying is find the opportunity within the chain. And that's where people get messed up at, I think. People are just so like, oh, you said Monad, you're talking about holding the token. No, I am not holding that token, but I do want to hold the top meme coin, the top NFT, maybe the top DeFi project. You know what I mean? I want to hold the core projects that make Monad successful, not Monad itself, right?
Yeah, and like if you're going to get into the pre-sale, there's one of two opportunities for that. Like you got to pretty much get out pretty quick when it goes to public, or you're holding for like a run up to finish the year or something, right? Or to go into a bull market. And the people that do well with it, they go in with size, right? So they know kind of the risk with the Monad main token. I mean, you don't want to go into that pre-sale $100, $150, unless the only reason you would want that is to have Monad ready to send over to do decent DeFi stuff, right? So obviously Monad is not like a flip overnight type of situation, unless those pre-sellers whales were able to kind of dump right whenever it went live and there was a profit there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what you really want from the Monad token launch. You're not going to get much from that right now unless you're a huge whale.
I know people think you're going to buy something on Coinbase that's going to 10x in the first day. Like if you buy anything on Coinbase, first off, you have no shot at 10xing unless you wait 6 months to a year, right? Like it's just not possible. Coinbase tokens, they're too large, most of them. But let's jump back into Monad. So could you teach me how to use GMGN? Because like I'm sitting here, how the hell, like maybe I'm just a noob here. Obviously I'm on Monad. How do I see like the large cap tokens? Like what am I even looking at here?
Yeah, so okay, so that left column that says new, those are the new launch tokens that are just constantly being launched, right?
Okay.
And then the middle token says almost bonded. So there's a certain percentage of almost being bonded that goes into that category, right? So it's basically look at it as like, okay, the new category got some momentum. Those tokens moved over to almost bonded. And then obviously, whenever you bond, you get kicked over to migrated on the right. And the migrated token.
Why am I seeing 0? How did they get here?
So that is a great question because it shouldn't show 0.
It does say migrating. If it says migrating, does that mean it's in the process of going from to the new liquidity pool?
Yeah, and I do think GMGN's dealing with some configuration issues for sure.
Gotcha.
Because there's no way it should show those market caps right now. Like if you're migrating, your market cap should be at least like 80K. Right. And so I think they're dealing with kind of like the integration of Monad tokens and stuff like that. They'll get it right. But as of right now, it's kind of tricky right now because you're just trying to figure out what's happening. Right. But the best way to look at that is probably, what migrated over and try to catch one of those early on the right side.
Gotcha. So this was already migrated. So everything over here has been migrated fully.
Correct.
Right? So if I'm seeing 4K, that means
it dumped hard.
Okay.
So yeah, basically that's what it typically means. Now with their configuration being kind of messed up, I don't know if there's an issue that they're also dealing with here. But mine was working pretty good. So that's how you use it, right? So you're going to look at what's new. It looks good to you. You can make your most riskiest bet in that far left column. You know, a lot of times those are going to go zero, like 95% of the time,
Gotcha.
96% of the time. And then if you get lucky, then it'll move over to the middle. But if you don't want to risk so much, you wait till it gets to the middle. You roll the dice on one of these that's already gotten to a certain point, and you're still early. And then it gets to migration, and then you go to the migrate column after that, right? So another way to use GMGN is to actually use its, you know, kind of bot feature, right?
Yeah.
So if you were to log in, you know, with a wallet or something, it's going to generate, let's say you log in with your MetaMask Monad wallet, right? It's going to generate its own Monad address on your behalf. So it's a centralized approach. And then you send Monad to that address, and then you can start buying these tokens that are in here. Just, you know, it's really quick, and it rarely fails type situation, right? Now, earlier today, it did have a couple fails because of the, you know, they're doing the configuration of these tokens and stuff like that. But once that passed, you know, they were going through smoothly. And so, you know, you know, once you sell back into Monad or whatever, you can withdraw that out of there. So it's similar to Axiom for Solana, and you know, those other bots, right? So it gives you an advantage because you can buy quickly instead of having to paste the address into your MetaMask, into your Phantom, all that good stuff, right? So that's where you can take advantage of that.
Gotcha. And then something like NADS. So what do you prefer? Do you prefer GMGN or NADS?
Well, probably. Well, if you have your wallet connected with NADS and NADS is working, then that's fine too, because it's going to purchase based off of you're connecting in there. It's going to do the swapping on your behalf, right? So you don't have to worry about like how quickly. There you go, right there. It's like a DEX within, right? So you know, you don't have to get the address and all that stuff. So you know, this route works fine. You know, I do prefer GMGN because this wasn't up earlier, right? NADS was down, and so because NADS was down, like I was like, okay, I'm going to pick GMGN over my wallet, right? Now, GMGN is probably one of the lower tier in terms of the bots. Like Axiom is one of the fastest. Now you have Terminal with Pump Fund bot Padre. They have Terminal, and Phantom has gotten into the game as well. They have their own trading terminal as well. So that one, I think they need to optimize and make it better. But so this is a kind of a new way of doing things. GMGN's still fine though. I rarely run into issues of, you know, the purchase not going through. So it's still fine. And then you kind of go through like the fees that, you know, they're all charging to see, you know, am I making money if I'm scalping and all those things. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, it makes sense. What do you see from a chart like this? Like if you see this and you're sitting here and you're watching this, right? Is this bullish to you? Like we have a lot of consolidation here between, you know, 1 million and like 1.8, it seems like, right? We'd had this candle down here down to 7. What do you see when you see a chart like this on Pump? Like obviously, I'm not asking you if you see Bitcoin like a chart or like crypto like a chart like this, but on a meme coin, you see a chart like this. What are you thinking?
Well, it depends on the situation, right? If it's something like Pump Fund, then
well, that's what I mean.
Skeptical.
Like Pump Fund.
I'm probably never at the current state of Pump Fund. I'm never confident in a new pair right now. Just not at all. Like new pair trading is a loser's game. You're talking about a 98% loss on new pairs. If you get lucky and it runs, you know, to 400, 500K, maybe a million, there's still a high probability that token retraces, you know, and probably gets closer and closer to zero with time, just because of the current state of the market, current state of Pump Fund. Everybody's just burnt the heck out there. Now, in a new ecosystem, it's totally different. You're talking about they're trying to establish some meme coins. They have none right now. So, you know, this chart looks way better to me in this situation than, you know, in something like Solana, right? And so, you know, I would say, okay, you know, they have taken the lead here. It looks like, you know, they're staying. Remember what I said? Can they get past the million? Can they sustain them? They're sitting at 1.1 million right now, so pretty solid. And you look at the other competitors that were going against it earlier. You had Anago, it's sitting at 285. G MONAD sitting at 138. Chog sitting at 102,000. Right. So it's obviously taken this lead ahead of everybody. Now, I would kind of ask you your experience with Trillions, because that's kind of what happened with Trillions, right? How long did it take?
Yeah.
Was it the first day? Did it take a strong lead? And then what did it get to the first day? Its all-time high on that first day. And then how long afterwards? Because these type of situations kind of mimic each other for the most part.
Yeah. So when I got in Trillions, it already ran. It ran to like 1 point, almost like it ran to like 1 point. It's like 2 million, 3 million, right? It ran pretty high, and then it dropped back down to like 400K. And then me and you, we saw a Kook tweet, right? And he was like talking about Trillions and stuff. So that's when we got in it. I think I got in like 400K, and so that was like Friday afternoon. Saturday morning, it was floating around probably like 3 million. So I was up pretty significantly already. And then it just went ape shit. It went to 60 million that day, right? So in the matter of 48 hours, it went from 3 million to 400K to 60 million down to about 3 on Sunday. So it was one of the most wild rides I've watched. I didn't sleep at all holding that Friday and Saturday. Like,
your wife's like, man,
and then,
who you talking to? Who are you talking to?
No, it was just like, you know what I mean? Like, I just, roll over, check your phone, see the price, go back to sleep, you dream about it, right? You wake up like that. Okay, that was just a dream that didn't happen. And then, so when you're holding this stuff overnight, it's one of the hardest things possible, right? It's terrible. It's a terrible feeling, especially when you're up 3-4x going to bed and you can wake up to a 0, right? I mean, we both experienced that. So it's always tough in that situation. But it's like, but if you can find one that runs like I got out of 20 million, right? I was at the time I was very happy, and then it went to 60, and I was very sad. so it was a wide range of emotions
in here that would say, okay, I got in. Let's just, for the example's sake, let's say that $500 you get in at 1 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you it runs up to 20 million. That's a $10,000 win right there, right?
It is.
I think in this market, that's a big win. That's a home run. Not necessarily grand slam, but like that's a home run, like a strong home run, 2-run home run, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got to be happy with that in this market, and it's because you're like those opportunities just don't come. And so you go from XPL, which was pre October 10th, right?
Yes. It was like, it was like October.
I think it was like
August
early
or
September or something. Oh,
I think it was right before all-time high, like August 2nd, August 3rd. It was right before all-time high.
Okay. And from then, August 2nd or October 2nd till now, which it doesn't seem like it's that long of a time, but like that was the kind of separation of big opportunity like that to the next big opportunity. Really, you did have Spark in between. Spark, I feel like they just kind of just weren't ready.
I mean, the 2 hours of trading.
Right. So that wasn't ready. But then, like, you go before XPL, and what was before that? Like, there wasn't really anything.
Well, we had a lot before that. No, I disagree. I feel like that was the ETH beta plays. ETH beta plays are all running hard.
Okay. So if you're talking about BSC definitely had its time.
BSC had it. Oh man, dude, that was insane.
BSC had its time, but I feel like that was piggybacked off of Aster, and there was an intention to get the liquidity and volume up on BSC for that. I don't know what the intention was, but that was definitely an opportunity too. Yeah, I will say that was an opportunity, but it was kind of
there was a lot of opportunities.
What was before that?
So it went from Ethereum ran from 1,300 to 5.
No, I'm not talking about.
I know. I'm just saying when during that time period, there was opportunity everywhere. It was just, I mean, there was pump fund runners. We had, there was seriously opportunity everywhere during that time.
But I do feel like that the market caps were capped though, compared to the first 6 months. So if you were to compare it to the first 6 months, like for example, Troll was one that like I felt like it was hard.
Another opportunity,
but it was hardcore cabal, and it went to 200 million. That was amazing. After that one, there was nothing that even got close to $100 million market cap on Solana in terms of these launch pads. Right now, BSC said hold my beer, and they
Yeah.
ran 4 coins past 100 million, but that was the
Yeah.
after, like I said, that moment where people were taking liquidity over there. So I would say, from the start of the year, if that Trump opportunity was obviously huge, but who's going to see that at $100 million
Yeah.
market cap and throw $5,000 in it? They're going to feel like,
Mhm.
like, what is this? You know what I mean? Then you had Melania, Libra. Those all ended kind of just with dirty feelings in them, right?
Mhm.
And then you didn't have really much until the bonk ecosystem took over Solana, and it had Annie, that AI token, run to, I think it was 60 million or something, 70 million or something like that. After that, Troll did its thing to kind of say, okay, we're still pump fun.
Mhm.
That was in, I want to say, like June. From June until BSC, there was no $100 million meme coin runners, other than Crypto Berg, but that one's a super sleeper there. But anyways, you get what I'm saying. So I think the opportunities were still pretty sparse for the second half of the year.
Mhm.
But that doesn't mean that there's not going to be more coming. This is something. That's why I actually think Monad is something the space needs, even though it's not necessarily, everybody wasn't necessarily ready for it. Everybody didn't have liquidity for it and stuff. So I really hope, like, some of these platforms do airdrops and stuff like that as well. And people are claiming their Monad as well. But yeah, a couple comments in the chat here. DC Pro Cleaning says, "Is it a scam for pre-sale buyers or not?" I don't think it's a scam for Monad for Coinbase pre-sale, but no, it's not a scam. You know what you're getting into. I think you have to play it correctly. And most people that are playing that are getting in size, and they're gonna,
Mhm.
they're hoping to flip that profit in the months to come. And then Mice Elf says, I can see NADS being the play on Monad. I agree. I agree, but I don't want to say too early. It's sitting at 1.4.
No, it is. I mean, there's nothing else. There's nothing else that has this type of volume. So if you're
Yeah.
talking volume, not price, I mean, it's easily NATS.
Oh yeah, for sure, volume wise. And then we got our guy. Is this Ryan Bolin? He changed his name. It
Yeah.
says
Well, remember,
Blazing Bandit.
YouTube does something different now. They changed the so now you're seeing their ads instead of their names. So in YouTube
Okay. Oh yeah,
before,
that's right.
you could
That's
have a
right.
username and then you have your at name. Now they're showing all the at names for some reason. I don't know.
Gotcha. And then Jason Sinker says, anyone staking Mon? So that I mean, maybe some of these whales that bought with size are staking on Coinbase as well, or staking somewhere DeFi wise. But that could be a thing. I'm not personally. I'm playing the DGen games for this one.
Yeah, and we're sitting here playing DJ games, but we're not going in heavy. I mean, I think we put in a couple $100, right? So it's just like, it's one of those things where, guys, you don't need to come in here with your entire life savings and dump them in these meme coins. That's actually, I would give you financial advice saying, do not do that. Don't be an idiot here. There is opportunity here, but just don't be an idiot. Like, come in here, throw a couple $100. The same amount of money you would go to your local casino and spend on a Friday night is the same exact money you should be potentially putting in here. Like, don't be an idiot when it comes to this stuff. Just because NADS could go to, $6-7 million market cap, the next day you might wake up and it's back to 400K, right? So just understand what you're getting into on these things. Take profit, and there's always another one, right? So that's one thing you have to understand, especially in these type of markets. There wasn't one for XPL. It was just everyone chose Chileans, and that was it. There was another one that I got into, but it went from like 400K to $1 million and then died.
Gotcha.
So
gotcha. This ecosystem looks different. It looks like a very playful one.
It does,
doesn't it?
It does, for sure. Yeah, man, we got friggin' almost 40 people on YouTube. Shout out to you guys, man. Absolutely awesome here. A lot of new guys. Guys, make sure you guys hit the subscribe. We're live every single day, Monday through Friday. Definitely check us out every day. And if you guys have anything you guys want to take a look at, let us know. Everyone expected more from Monad because it was said to be an L1. Same as, but dude, give it time. It's day one. It's hour 4. You know what I mean? Just you got to give these things time to kind of come out, and you got your sell pressure on the airdrops and stuff, right?
Well, and we've been conditioned for this like instant gratification. Just it's gone too far, guys. Like, it's gone too far, man. That we got to get that out of our minds. I mean, I get it. I was here for the last 2 cycles. I get why you think that way. And Pump Fund has not helped that case at all. It's made it worse, actually. People want to see gains right away, instantaneously, type of situation. And it's just not realistic in this kind of market, especially in this kind of market.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But I think that's our show today. I don't really have much more to kind of jump into. Hey
Yeah.
boys, bull canceled? No, the bull is not canceled. It's just pushed back till next year. I think we can all agree on that. But yeah, I think you know, we great show today. I think Monad really brought a lot of people in here. Appreciate every single one of you guys, especially on YouTube. Guys, please hit the subscribe button. Come check us out each and every day. But that's our show for you guys today. Really appreciate every single one of you guys each and every day.
Absolutely, guys. Without you guys, we could not do this show, and we're very appreciative of your guys' support and viewership. But also, without our partners, we couldn't do it. So if you can check them out, we would be very grateful for that. Emblem Vault is the interoperability layer of the Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to jump your Bitcoin ordinals or NFTs like Rare Pepes and Counterparty NFTs to Ethereum, you've got to use Emblem Vault. They have the most experience in the space of doing that. They've been jumping Bitcoin NFTs over to Ethereum since 2021, last bull market, right? And right now you can actually take a loan out against your Taproot Wizard ordinal on the Gandhi application, which is the largest borrowing and lending NFT application on Ethereum. And then they're going to be adding more tech stacks to Emblem Vault's jumping NFT bridge. You know, Solana is definitely on that roadmap. And speaking of Solana, they have the best AI product within the Solana ecosystem with agenthustle.ai. With Agent Hustle, you can actually use the free subscription. It is limited to a couple prompts, but you can test it out that way, and you can find some low cap gems in the Solana ecosystem. Hustle will bring back a couple options and tell you why he thinks these are solid options. But also, you can do buy and sell limit conditional orders with Agent Hustle. He has that engine built inside him. So if you need to go to the gym, the grocery store, you can, you know, do buy and sell limit orders on meme coins or any SPL coins within the Solana ecosystem. But it doesn't just stop with Solana. They integrated with Hedera Hashgraph. So right now you can use Hustle for HBAR. You can find the new meme tokens over on HBAR as they're just getting started with their meme ecosystem over there with Meme Job. But you can find other information about utility tokens because they are heavy with the utility side of things on HBAR as well. And they're going to be opening this up to other ecosystems. They already added BSC as well. So, you know, I've always said Agent Hustle is that one-stop shop kind of, you know, centralized. It is centralized, but it helps you. You can just have everything ready for, you know, BNB, HBAR tokens, all of them already in Hustle, and just make those trades right away. Now, there is a paid subscription version of Hustle where you get more prompts and tool sets. And you know, that's where you want to have the best advantage, right? And you can use the Hustle token, which is a single token that powers their entire ecosystem of the Emblem ecosystem. You'll get a discount. I believe it's 30%. So make sure you check that out. And there is another product within their ecosystem called migrate.fund. And if you launched a token on one of the launch pads in Solana, like Pump Fund or Bonk.fund, and you want to migrate to the opposite launchpad or a new launchpad, or just manage your own LPs, you got to use migrate.fund to do it. They are the experts in the space of migration. They started the meta, really, you know, as a third-party migrator, right? They're in their second, or they're finishing up their second cohort with big brands like Pay AI, and the third cohort's going to be big as well. If you're interested, reach out to them at migrate.fund or emblem.vision, where you can learn about all the products that I broke down for you just now. And then Merlin Chain is uniting Bitcoin strength through the power of AI. They have their Wizard version 2.0 that can guide you through the Merlin Chain ecosystem, but also swap for tokens outside the ecosystem in Solana and BSC as well. All you have to do is have some Merlin Bitcoin in your Merlin Chain wallet, which is a MetaMask wallet or one of the Bitcoin wallets that works with the chain as well. And the Wizard can also do DeFi functionalities within Merlin Chain's ecosystem on your behalf, like swap with Merlin Swap or stake. And speaking of staking, they have a proof of stake security model that powers their chain there. And you can participate in 3 ways. The first way is to stake Bitcoin to earn more Bitcoin. The first staking vault ended September 30th, and they got 17% APR for the people that staked Bitcoin. And that's an amazing APR for staking Bitcoin. You get Bitcoin back as well. So you don't just get some random inflated token. The second staking vault has been open for a bit, and it closes January 8th. So you do have some days to earn, you know, that same range. They're shooting for a minimum of 8%, maximum of 21% APR for the staking of the second vault there. Make sure you're taking advantage of that. And then 2 other ways to participate in the proof of stake with the Merlin Chain token. The first one is the flexible day-to-day. You earn 15% APR. And it does take 7 days to withdraw. So if you are interested in withdrawing, you know, just know after you put your Merlin chain tokens in there. It does take 7 days for that, but you earn 15% APR daily that you can claim daily, right? And you can roll those up into a compound interest, or just, you know, keep the tokens or sell them, whatever you want to do. That's up to you. And the last option is the bonded option, which you earn 45% APR for staking your Merlin chain tokens. You can claim those daily, same thing like the flexible, but they are locked up for 6 months. So just know that ahead of time. Head over to merlinchain.io to learn more, and follow them on X to learn about their updates that they drop frequently on their X account. Thank you guys so much for checking out our partners.
Yep. Great job, man. As always, if you guys have a few more minutes, wouldn't mind checking out onchainrevolution.io. Some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you know someone just entering the space, please send them our website. We really feel like help them get started and caught up to where we are today. Article right here, Bitcoin 30% pullbacks. There's usually 6 every cycle. Check this article out. It's about 3 to 4 minute reads. You guys can knock out all of our articles very quickly. America.fun, Q4, sentiment, everything here. Article after article, you guys can really just tap in for an hour and understand what has happened the entire year. And if you guys need a VPN, I highly recommend NordVPN. Why use a NordVPN? Well, if you want to use something like Hyperliquid or MEXC, you need one. Because especially if you're in the US, they geo-block you because you're in the US. So this stops any country geo-blocking you. It doesn't matter if they geo-block and anywhere you're at. So I usually leave mine in Italy. For some reason, Italy seems to be the best server, and I'm able to use other stuff. And also I get Italian TikTok, which is kind of cool. It's different stuff over there. So that's the thing too. If you have Netflix and you want different movies, just change your VPN to a different spot and you get different movies and stuff over there as well. So it's not just for crypto reasons, for any reason you could possibly think. But the best part is if you go to nordvpn.com, you will be paying $11.59. But if you use our link, you're actually getting it for $2.99. Lock it in for 2 years, set it, forget it, and you actually get an extra 3 months on top of that. Definitely get that, guys, because you know, you pay $70, you give 27 months, and you forget about it. And you're able to use it for whatever reason. And on top of that, if you guys are interested in hardware wallets, we have a deal with Ledger to kind of get you guys better prices. Check it out here. It actually helps the show as well. So if you are thinking about getting a wallet, make sure you go to our website, and that way you don't go to scam website. Do not order from Amazon. Do not order from eBay. Get it from our shop.ledger.com app, and you guys can get your hardware wallets and everything you guys need here. And remember, guys, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys, and until tomorrow.
Peace.
OnChain revolution roll call. Market recap. You're not bullish enough. No. You're not bullish enough. No. Look at the price go. Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. OnChain revolution.